Hello, I had a question from Rosemary, which is a lovely name, that's my sister's name, and she was talking about cutting anxiety. She says she has such cutting anxiety that she'll put off a project for weeks or months or even years so that she doesn't have to cut the fabric. So, suggestions. I want to hear yours in the comments below as well. But my suggestion for this would be, what is a cutting anxiety really about? What are you afraid of? I would suggest that what you're actually afraid of is not getting it perfect. What this is about is perfectionism. You don't want to cut it because you don't want to get it wrong. So, I could tell you that there is a little trick for cutting anxiety, which is my friend Bess always says, if you're cutting a particularly expensive fabric, then it's a good idea to just take a pair of scissors and when you're just about to cut, make a tiny snip in the selvage, right at the edge. Tiny snip, and then the first cut is done. And the fabric is now imperfect, and you don't have to make the first big cut because it's already cut. So making that first tiny cut can be very helpful. So that's like one tiny hack, but it doesn't address the bigger issue, which is the perfectionism. So I would suggest that you think more about how to deal with it not being perfect. The point of your project is not to make a perfect dress or a perfect hat or whatever it is. The point of the project is not for it to be your last project, and I've talked about this before. If it was perfect, if it came out absolutely perfect, then you'd be done. You wouldn't need to sew anymore. Just like if this was a perfect video, it wouldn't be perfect anymore. You have to just go for it and be prepared for it not to be perfect. And I have that issue every week when I make these videos, because I want to be perfect, and I'm never going to look perfect on video. I'm just as nervous as anybody else would be about making videos, so today I've tricked myself into doing this. I do that a lot, don't I? Trick myself into doing things. I've sort of tricked myself into doing this by making this video on the way to the grocery store. And when I get there, I'll probably buy myself something nice, because I've done it. Hooray, I did the video. Not because I don't like doing them, I love talking to you, but it just makes me nervous because I feel very vulnerable. So the same happens when you're cutting fabric. It's not about worrying that it's going to be perfect. It's about getting over the idea that it has to be perfect. It's about being prepared to just make something and learn. Because what's going to happen at the end of it is, no, you're not going to have a perfect dress, but you are going to have learned something. So aim not to be perfect. Aim to get better by learning something with this project. So, I'm going to cross a road now, which is a really bad idea with this in my hand. But my name's Kathy Hay. I'm in Fairfax, California. I'm loving it. And leave me a comment below, tell me what your challenges are. And do some sewing this week. Now I'm going to switch this off because I'm quite embarrassed because people are looking at me. See you soon.